The sky burned with strange lights that night. 5 huge alien ships, each bigger than a small city, hung over Earth like metal mountains. People everywhere stared up with fear and wonder. Admiral Bill Carter watched the main screen at North American Space Command with tight lips. His gray eyes narrowed as he studied the alien vessels. "Sir, they're sending a message," said Officer Nancy Hart, her fingers moving quickly across her control panel. The message was simple. "We are the Galactic Council. We come in peace." Carter didn't trust it. 20 years in space defense had taught him that nothing this big happened by accident. Still, orders were orders. "Send back our welcome message," he told Hart, "and get the first contact team ready." The meeting happened on neutral ground, a floating platform in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. Carter led a team of Earth's best minds. The aliens sent 7 representatives, tall blue-skinned beings with 4 arms and eyes that seemed to look through rather than at the humans. "We represent 13 advanced civilizations," said their leader, who called himself Zach Stahl. His voice sounded like metal scraping on stone. "We have watched your planet for many years. We wish to share knowledge and technology." For 3 days, they talked of peace and cooperation. But Carter noticed something wrong. While they spoke of friendship, more alien ships arrived. They moved into positions above military bases and major cities. "Keep smiling," Carter whispered to his team. "But something's not right." Back at the base, Lieutenant Sue Miller couldn't sleep. Something about the aliens' language bothered her. She ran their messages through the computers again, looking for patterns. "Admiral, I found something." She called Carter at 3 a.m. "There's a hidden layer in their transmissions." Dr. Alan Frost, the team's language expert, worked with Miller through the night. By morning, his face was pale. "They're not here for peace," he told Carter, showing him the partial translation. "They see us as dangerous animals that need to be caged. They're planning something they call preemptive containment." Carter grabbed the secure phone to warn the Joint Chiefs of Staff. That's when the base shook with the first explosion. On the screen, alien fighters streaked across the sky, firing energy beams that cut through Earth's best defenses like they were paper. The Council's ships released hundreds of smaller vessels. Their weapons hit military targets with perfect accuracy. "They're taking out our ability to fight back," Carter realized. Communications, defense systems, command centers. Officer Hart looked up from her station, blood running down her face from a cut on her forehead. "Sir, we've lost contact with Pacific Command and European headquarters. Orbital defense stations are down." Outside the command center windows, the sky turned red with fire as Earth's small space fleet tried to fight back. Most were destroyed in the first minutes. Carter watched a recording of Zach Stahl's newest message broadcasting worldwide. "Your violent species cannot be allowed to spread through the galaxy. Submit to containment, and you may live. Resist, and face extinction." The Admiral's hands tightened into fists. "They think they know humans," he said quietly. "They have no idea what they've just started." Lisa Reeves couldn't sleep. The attack had started 3 hours ago. From her apartment window in Houston, she watched alien ships fill the sky like angry hornets. Blue light flashed as they fired at Earth's defenses. Lisa worked at the city's communication center. When the first reports of attack came, she had called everyone she knew. Now her phone was dead. The power was out too. Only her old radio still worked. "This is an emergency broadcast," a shaky voice said on the radio. "All military personnel report to nearest command centers. All civilians stay indoors." Then the voice cut off. Static filled the room. Outside, the few human ships that tried to fight were swatted down like flies. The sky burned with their remains. Lisa pressed her hand against the cold window glass and whispered a prayer. By morning, it was over. The Council owned the skies. Their smaller ships landed in major cities. Tall blue aliens in silver armor walked Earth's streets like they owned them. "They didn't kill many people," Lisa's neighbor Joe said when they met in the stairwell. "They just took out our ability to fight back." "Smart," if you think about it. Smart for them, Lisa answered. Bad for us. On her working radio, she heard the aliens' message play over and over. People of Earth, the Galactic Council has placed your planet under protective quarantine. This is not punishment. It is protection. For the galaxy from you, and for you from yourselves. Cooperate and live in peace. Resist and face consequences. The United Nations called an emergency meeting. World leaders gathered in New York. Many looked scared. Some looked angry. All looked tired. The Council sent 3 representatives. They didn't ask for Earth's surrender. They demanded it. Your species is violent and dangerous, said the tallest alien, its 4 arms moving as it spoke. You fight endless wars. You build weapons that could destroy your own planet. The Council cannot allow such a species to spread through space. President Frank Ellis of the United States stood up. We have rights as a free planet. We, the alien, cut him off. You have the right to live. Nothing more. Sign our agreement. The agreement was simple and cruel. Humans could keep their countries and governments, but under Council control. No space travel beyond the moon. No new weapons. Council ships would stay in orbit to make sure humans followed the rules. Ellis looked at the other world leaders. Most nodded slowly. What choice did they have? The alien ships could destroy every major city in minutes. We need time to discuss, Ellis said. You have 1 day, the alien answered. As the meeting ended, Russian President Sokolov walked past Ellis. We signed their paper, he whispered. But we do not give up. This fight has just begun. In a secret underground room below the Pentagon, General Diane Clark watched the broadcast. She turned to her team. Send the message to all hidden bases. Operation Sleeping Giant is now active. The real war was about to start. 6 months passed. The aliens called it peace. Humans called it prison. Colonel Jack Ward looked at the faded map spread across the table in his underground base. 20 people crowded around him in the dim light. Some wore torn military uniforms. Others were civilians who had joined the fight. Council patrols have increased here and here, Ward said, pointing to areas near Denver. His face was thin and had a new scar across his cheek. They're looking for us, but they won't find us. The Rocky Mountain base was one of humanity's best-kept secrets. Built inside an old mining system, it went deep into the earth where alien scanners couldn't reach. Similar bases existed around the world. What about the weapons? Asked Pete Davis, a former police officer. Ward nodded to a woman standing in the corner. Dr. Powell has news. Dr. Samantha Powell stepped forward. 6 months ago, she had been a university researcher. Now she was humanity's best hope. Her team had been studying pieces of a crashed alien ship. We've made a breakthrough, she said. Her eyes were tired but excited. The aliens use quantum shields to protect their ships and bases. But guess what? It's similar to technology we were developing before the invasion. She turned on a small device on the table. It hummed softly. This can disrupt their shields. Not for long, but long enough. Ward smiled for the first time in weeks. That's our window. If we can take down their shields, even for a minute, we can hit them hard. Far above them, in space, alien commander Nax Vur sat in his office on the main council ship. On his screen was a report about human activity. These humans continue with small attacks, he told his assistant. They damage a patrol here, steal supplies there. Nothing serious. Should we increase patrols? The assistant asked. Nax Vur waved 2 of his 4 arms dismissively. No need. They are like insects fighting an elephant. Their resistance will die out soon. What Nax Vur didn't know was that humans were talking to each other. Greg Martinez, who once ran the biggest tech company in America, had created a special communication network. The ShadowNet used old copper phone lines, modified radio signals, and even coded light flashes to connect resistance groups worldwide. Through this network, Ward's team learned they weren't alone. In China, Commander Lin had built weapons under the mountains. In Brazil, Captain Rodriguez had trained 5,000 fighters. In Russia, General Petrov had captured an alien supply ship. Small victories were happening everywhere. Back in the mountain base, Ward received a coded message from space. His eyes widened as he read it. "Everyone, listen," he said. "We just got word from Captain Winters. The Hidden Fleet is almost ready." "Hidden Fleet?" someone asked. "What Hidden Fleet?" Ward's face turned serious. Before the invasion, Earth's governments built secret ships, hidden on the far side of the moon and in the asteroid belt. Ships the Council knows nothing about. He looked at each face in the room. "Our job is to keep the aliens busy and blind. When the fleet attacks from space, we attack from the ground." Dr. Powell raised her hand. "My team needs 3 more weeks to make enough shield disruptors." Ward nodded. 3 weeks it is. Then we show these aliens what humans can really do when pushed too far. Captain Laura Winters floated through the silent corridor of the spaceship Defiance, hidden in a crater on the far side of the moon. The massive ship had been invisible to the Council for months. Laura pushed herself into the bridge where 20 crew members worked at their stations. Through the main window, she could see Earth, beautiful and blue, with Council ships circling it like hungry sharks. "Status report," she said, settling into her command chair. Officer Ben Kelly looked up from his screen. "All systems ready, Captain. The engine upgrades are complete." Laura nodded. Few people knew that Earth had been preparing for alien contact long before the Council arrived. After a small alien ship crashed in Arizona in 2032, world governments secretly built a defense fleet using the recovered technology. "And our other ships?" she asked. "All reporting ready," Kelly answered. 287 vessels hidden throughout the solar system, waiting for your command. Laura turned to her communications officer. "Any word from Earth?" "Yes, Captain. Colonel Ward's team has distributed the shield disruptors to resistance groups worldwide. They'll be ready in 3 days." Laura studied the tactical display showing Council ship positions. The aliens were strong, but they had a weakness. Their ships communicated through quantum links that needed regular updating through central nodes. Greg Martinez, the tech genius working with the ground resistance, had found this flaw. His team had created a virus that could disrupt these nodes, blinding the alien fleet temporarily. "They think they've won," Laura said quietly. "That's our advantage." On Earth, the resistance prepared. Dr. Powell's team worked day and night making shield disruptors. Each small device could disable Council shields within 50 meters. Not much, but enough for a fighter with a good weapon. Colonel Ward distributed the devices to teams worldwide. "Remember," he told his soldiers, "we're not trying to win the ground war. We just need to create enough chaos to distract them from what's happening in space." In his orbital command center, alien overseer Nax Vur received reports of increased human activity. Small attacks were happening more frequently. Council patrols found and destroyed 3 human hideouts. "They're getting desperate," Nax Vur told his commanders. "Increase ground patrols. Find their leaders." What he didn't know was that these attacks were just distractions. The real threat was invisible to his scanners. Back on the Defiance, Laura called her officers together. "We have one chance," she said. "Martinez's virus will disable their communications for exactly 8 minutes. In that time, our fleet must hit all their command ships simultaneously." "What if it doesn't work?" asked Officer Kelly. Laura's face was serious. "Then humanity remains in chains. But I don't plan to fail." She looked at each face around her. These men and women had trained for years in secret, knowing they might be Earth's last hope. "Send the message to all ships," she ordered. "Operation Counterweight begins in 3 days." As the message went out, hidden ships throughout the solar system began powering up their engines. Weapons were checked. Battle plans reviewed. The Council thought they had tamed humanity. They were about to learn how wrong they were. The day began like any other under alien rule. Council ships patrolled the skies. Alien soldiers walked the streets of major cities. Then everything changed. In New York, the power grid suddenly failed. In Beijing, alien communication towers stopped working. In London, council transport vehicles crashed into each other when their navigation systems went haywire. It was happening everywhere. Small problems became big chaos. This was no accident. Resistance fighters had spent months planning this day. In Houston, Lisa Reeves, now working with the Resistance, planted a device on a power station that supplied the alien headquarters. In Moscow, a team led by General Petrov released tiny drones that jammed alien signals. Max Ver, the council commander, paced in his control room. "What is happening?" he demanded. "Fix these problems now." His officers tried, but new issues kept appearing. They didn't know these were just distractions. The real attack was about to begin. On the Defiance, Captain Laura Winters gave the order all humanity had been waiting for: launch the fleet. Activate Martinez's virus. Throughout the solar system, hidden ships powered up and moved from their hiding places. At the same time, the virus entered the Council's communication nodes. Their quantum network, their greatest advantage, went dark. For the first time since the invasion, the aliens were blind. The human fleet appeared like ghosts from the darkness of space. 300 ships of all sizes, armed with weapons the Council never knew humans had. "All ships, attack pattern Alpha," Laura ordered. "Target their command vessels first." On Earth, Colonel Ward led his team toward the Council's North American headquarters in what used to be Denver. Each fighter carried one of Dr. Powell's shield disruptors. "Remember," Ward told them, "the disruptors work for only 5 minutes. Make every second count." They'd reached the alien base, a massive structure surrounded by energy shields that glowed blue in the night. Ward activated the first disruptor. The shield flickered and died. "Now," he shouted. Human fighters rushed in, using weapons stolen from the Council against their creators. The aliens, surprised to see their shields fail, fought back hard. Ward moved through the chaos toward the control center. There he found Naxivor, frantically trying to contact his fleet. "Your ships can't hear you," Ward said, aiming his weapon at the alien. "It's over." Naxivor turned all 4 of his eyes toward the human. "Impossible. You are primitives." Ward smiled grimly. "You made a big mistake. You judged us by our technology, not by what we can do when pushed into a corner." In space, the battle was equally shocking for the Council. Their ships, unable to coordinate, faced a human fleet that attacked with perfect unity. Laura's tactics confused the aliens, hitting them from multiple directions at once. The Council's main command ship, believing itself safe behind Mars, suddenly found the Defiance dropping out of nowhere directly in front of it. Laura had used a hidden jump drive, technology the Council thought impossible for humans. "Target their engines," she ordered. "Fire quantum missiles." The missiles, weapons the Council had never seen before, tore through the alien flagship's hull. Laura watched on her screen as the massive ship lost power and drifted helplessly. For the first time, the Council knew fear. They had expected an easy victory over a primitive species. Instead, they had awakened something far more dangerous than they could imagine. News of the attack spread like wildfire. From city to city, country to country, people heard that humans were fighting back and winning. In Paris, people poured into the streets, throwing rocks at alien patrols. In Tokyo, underground fighters emerged with stolen alien weapons. In Cairo, the Resistance took control of the city center. The Council, for the first time, was losing. Captain Laura Winters stood on the bridge of the Defiance, watching the battle unfold on her screens. Human ships moved in perfect coordination, while Council vessels fired blindly, unable to communicate with each other. "Captain, we've disabled 7 of their command ships," Officer Kelly reported. "Their main fleet is retreating behind Mars." Laura nodded. "Follow them. Don't let them regroup." The human fleet, hidden for so long, now showed its true power. Ships using technology the aliens never expected humans to have cut through Council defenses. The quantum missiles, Earth's secret weapon, ignored alien shields completely. On the ground, Colonel Ward secured the North American headquarters. His soldiers led captured aliens to holding cells. Among them was HFY, the council commander who had thought humans were no threat. How? HFY asked as Ward locked his cell. How did you build such weapons without us knowing? We've been preparing since long before you arrived, Ward answered. The ship that crashed in Arizona wasn't your first visit to Earth. In her lab, Dr. Powell worked with her team to analyze the Council's main computer. What they found made her rush to contact Captain Winters. Laura, we found their communication codes, she said excitedly. We can send a message directly to the Council homeworlds. They need to know what's happening here. Laura thought for a moment. Do it. Tell them exactly what their forces did and what we're capable of doing in return. Powell nodded. Using the captured alien technology, she composed a message and sent it across the stars to the 13 Council worlds. The message was clear. The invasion of Earth had failed. The Council forces must withdraw immediately, or Earth would bring the war to their home systems. It wasn't an empty threat. The Defiance and 3 other large ships had already captured Council vessels capable of traveling between stars. Earth now had the ability to attack the Council at home. On the Council homeworlds, the message caused panic. Their leaders had been told that Earth would be an easy conquest. Now their forces were being defeated by a species they had underestimated. We need more ships, one Council leader demanded. It would take months to send reinforcements, another replied. And can we be sure they would win? These humans have weapons we don't understand. Back on Earth, people began to reclaim their planet. In city after city, alien forces found themselves surrounded by humans who were no longer afraid. Greg Martinez, watching from his hidden command center, smiled as reports came in from around the world. They thought we would just accept defeat, he told his team. They didn't understand what it means to be human. As the battle entered its second day, it was clear to everyone, human and alien alike, that the tide had turned. The Council had made a fatal mistake. They had attacked humanity first, believing it would be an easy victory. Instead, they had awakened a sleeping giant. 3 weeks after the counterattack began, the Council asked for peace. Admiral Bill Carter, who had survived the first attack and joined the resistance, sat at a large round table aboard the Defiance. Across from him sat the Council's new representative, a nervous-looking alien named HFY. Gone was the arrogance of Zax Tull and HFY. This alien's 4 hands trembled slightly as he spoke. The Council wishes to end hostilities, HFY said. We offer immediate withdrawal of all forces from your solar system. Carter's face remained hard. That's not enough. Your people attacked us without cause. You killed thousands. You tried to cage our entire species. Carter placed a data pad on the table. These are our terms. They are not negotiable. HFY read the terms, and his blue skin turned pale. This is severe. It's fair, Carter replied. You leave our system. You pay for what you destroyed. You recognize Earth as an independent power with the right to expand into space. And you give us the technology we need to make sure you never try this again. The alien hesitated. The Council will find these terms difficult to accept. Captain Laura Winters, standing behind Carter, stepped forward. Maybe this will help them decide. She activated a screen showing human ships positioned near several Council worlds. During the fighting, Earth had captured enough alien ships to send small fleets to Council territory. We don't want war, Laura said, but if forced, we will bring the same destruction to your worlds that you brought to ours. HFY looked at the screen, then slowly nodded. I will take these terms to my leaders. 2 days later, the Council accepted. The war was over. Earth had won. In the months that followed, humanity began to rebuild. The old countries and borders seemed less important now. People who had fought together against aliens found they had more in common than they once thought. New cities rose where old ones had been damaged. With council technology as part of the peace agreement, these cities were better than before, cleaner, more efficient, built to last. Colonel Ward, now General Ward, led the new United Earth Defense Force. Dr. Powell headed a research team studying alien technology. Lisa Reeves became part of the new government's communication department. Greg Martinez used his tech skills to help rebuild Earth's networks, now enhanced with council technology. And Captain Laura Winters prepared for a new mission. As part of the peace terms, Earth received 5 large starships. Humanity was ready to explore beyond its solar system. 10 years passed quickly. Human ships became a common sight in space. Earth joined trade networks with other species, many of whom had also suffered under council rule. Some council members, those who had opposed the invasion from the beginning, became Earth's strongest allies. Others kept their distance, still fearful of what humans might do. On the 10th anniversary of victory, Admiral Carter, now retired, stood with his old friends at a ceremony in the new United Earth capital. "They thought they knew us," he said to Laura, who now commanded Earth's growing fleet. "They saw our conflicts and wars, but missed what makes us special." "What's that?" Laura asked. Carter watched children playing in a park that had once been a battlefield. "We fight hard when attacked, but we also forgive and rebuild. That's the real human strength." He looked up at the stars, now filled with possibility rather than threat. "They attacked first," he said quietly, "but we built something better from the ashes." The end.